Welcome to episode 4 of the Ayala Deathlacy. In our last episode, we witnessed our first death. Since then, Lashawn has applied to be an alchemist, but the school seems relatively unconcerned with the pupils who've witnessed their father's death. The next day is a Thursday. The children together are arranged to meet at the swimming pools in order to have some fun and forget the misery that's all around them. Meanwhile, Lashawn spends her time at home improving her alchemy skill. And during the later hours, Catherine decides she wishes to become an illustrious author. And absent-minded Duncan wishes to become a creature robot crossbreeder. And Okoni's ghost rises from the ashes and disrupts the family's sleep. The next day, Lashawn uses the collection helper in order to be able to find precious gems and minerals. Lashawn's quest continues into the night. It's now a Saturday, and Earl is at the library, practicing his logic skill in preparation for when he's an adult. Despite having no lifetime wish yet, Fiona is at the gym, practicing her athletic skill and using her relevant trait. Lashawn sells on some of the precious gems that cannot be used for any alchemy recipe, but the shower is broken again and must be replaced for 425 simoleons. In addition to learning the logic skill, Earl also finds it a good idea to learn the science skill in order to be able to advance in his career more quickly. Duncan has been practicing playing the guitar after I totally forgot he wished to become a scientist, and Lashawn sells on more of her gems. But apparently you can get even more money if you actually cut them, so Lashawn does that. Alexandra went to the gym in order to get prepared for the career she wishes to obtain. There she meets Fiona, but things go quickly wrong. Alexandra wishes to use one of the running machines, but both of them are taken, so she calls over to one of the guys using them, but secretly, she wishes to imply someone's mother was a llama. Unfortunately, Guillermo is family-oriented and takes the insult personally. A fight soon breaks out, and who would have thought an adult male sim who visits the gym regularly will beat a teenage girl who's only been to the gym once. While zooming in, I notice the ceiling hasn't been painted, despite only having limited funds. I cannot ignore it. Later on in the night, Alexandria arrives home after breaking curfew and receives a lecture. Alexandra responds by accusing Lashawn of being a diva, and thanks to a mean-spirited trait, she gets some lifetime happiness from it. It is a Sunday, and Duncan has headed to the library to learn the gardening skill in preparation for his career ahead. And while practicing her painting skill, Catherine paints a quite appropriate painting for the Isla Paradiso expansion, and I just cannot bear to sell it. Bethany, the child who has no perceivable talents, has done nothing so far, and so is given the collection helper so she can go hunt out gems and make her some money. With a swarm of useful gems and bugs now cluttering their home, I purchased them an alchemy rack so they can store them more efficiently. In a cove just off the mainland of Isla Paradiso, Lashawn finds some purple fireflies, one of the ingredients required to make a genie potion bottle. But she's unsuccessful in capturing them. But she is successful in capturing the blue firefly required for the recipe. She's currently level 9 of the alchemy profession, but requires to make a lot more elixirs if she wishes to achieve her lifetime reward. Lashawn fishes out the toad left by Earl, as she seemingly managed to get the last ingredient of light beetle outside of the alchemy store and begins creating a witch's brew. Lashawn not only successfully creates a witch's brew, but manages to create two, one for herself and one for Bethany, and then creates some essence of magic so she can advance as a witch more quickly. With the lifetime reward points she's racked up, she purchases the Suave Seller lifetime reward, which will give her more money when selling to a consignment store. Lashawn then uses a witch's brew on Bethany in the hopes that it will make her a more interesting character. Alexandra has been practicing her magic and has learned how to cast fireballs and ice blasts. It's now early Thursday, and Lashawn has returned to the cove to find the purple fireflies returned, and this time she is successful. Duncan gets a lifetime aspiration of wishing to become a witch, but it is not to be. Ghost Coney peers over Lashawn's shoulder as she makes the genie elixir, and then casts a love charm on her for some reason. I guess he's lonely. Lashawn then threw the elixir at Duncan, which makes him look like Nightcrawler from the X-Men. It's now early Thursday morning and Coney hasn't left and must be glitched out. On her day off, Alexandria goes to the place where Grelimo lives, but he's not home, and Alexandria leaves a message. Alexandria tries to kill the only member of the household at home, but she's already ran out of magic. She eventually leaves in order to practice her logic skill. Being mean-spirited has obviously paid off for Alexandria, as she's already got one lifetime reward in the shape of an entrepreneurial mindset, which allows her to advance more quickly in her career. While at the library studying, Duncan gets hungry, but now as a genie he can conjure and Alaskan bake. It's now very, very early Friday morning, and Coney has proven too disruptive to remain, and so he is deleted. And Lashawn picks up his grave. Somewhere along the way, Lashawn got to level 10 of the alchemy profession. You'd think I'd record that, but I'm just that bad at editing. What I didn't edit out, though, was the fact Lashawn's birthday is today. And unknowns to me, the alchemy shop has a gem cutting station as well. And despite being a pyromaniac outside of school, in school she's on the honor roll. Once the teenagers arrive home, Catherine finishes off a painting, which is, again, too beautiful to sell. But it is late evening and Catherine hasn't developed a painting skill enough yet to be able to paint a portrait. So she tries to paint a still life painting. Just as she is about to begin, Lashawn begins celebrating her birthday. Catherine is able to find a moment when Lashawn's arms ain't wailing through the air and takes the photo, although it is less than endearing. And with that, Lashawn evolves into the ranks of those who are as old as balls, and ends up looking like Storm from the X-Men. Some of the second generation wake up, and Alexandria tries to spell on Duncan. It succeeds, and Duncan is freezing, but in response, he banishes her from the home, and she ends up in her pajamas on the other side of Isla Paradiso. So while she's there, she decides she may as well go to the gym. But things don't go to plan, as Alex is still in violation of her curfew and is picked up by law enforcement. But the day is swiftly saved with the announcement that it's Alex's birthday, and Bethany's, and Duncan's, and Earl's birthday. The painting of Lashawn is finished, but somehow it's even worse than the Coney painting. Catherine tries again to paint her mother correctly. Or, at least visible. It's now late evening, and Bethany is at the Nautical Museum to stay out of the way, and she is the first child to evolve into a young adult. Her trait is randomized, and she ends up being a vehicle enthusiast, and a disappointment to me. As the only teenager not to get any lifetime wish, she ends up getting the Mystic Healer lifetime wish, which requires her to cure 10 different transform sims. While painting her mother, Catherine ages up and gains the discipline trait. Presumably all the girls are going first, for Alex is the third to age up. and gains the supernatural skeptic trait, which must be difficult for her as a witch. Duncan ages up next and gains the green thumb trait, which is probably the only useful trait he's had so far. He also seems impressed with his new casual clothing. Earl is the last of them to age up at the side of the road in his sweatpants in the rain, and he gains the mean-spirited trait, which, if you had been playing through this and seeing his mood throughout, you would understand this is a pretty reasonable thing. To finish off the episode, Lashawn drinks a wish-enhancing serum before gulping down 31 vials of bliss and gains her lifetime wish of being a master alchemist. And so ends episode 4. We leave you with the personal strummings of Duncan and the idle complaints behind him. Until next time, goodbye.